Hello and welcome to episode 54 of Mompreneur Mastery, Simple Instagram Strategies for Busy Moms. Because I know you're busy and I try to simplify things as much as I can for you, today I want to talk about saving time on your Instagram strategy without sacrificing sales. So while you're still making money, ways to save time so it just doesn't take so long. I know it can feel very time consuming, especially when you see all these posts online of post 3 times a day if you want to grow, or use these 10 viral hooks before they are not trending anymore, things like that. You can put a lot of time into Instagram and get results, but you don't have to. I literally don't. So let's get into it. Welcome to the Mompreneur Mastery Podcast, where we share actionable Instagram strategies that fit into a busy mom's schedule so that you can get more engagement, more leads, and more sales in less time. I'm Sydney O'Brien, an Instagram strategist who started my business with 3 kids under 5 and found a way to do it without sacrificing quality time with my family and only working 2 hours a day. I love helping other mom business owners find that seemingly impossible mom work-life balance instead of spending too much time creating content that isn't getting them the results they want. If you're an overwhelmed but very ambitious business owner and you want to strategize the heck out of your Instagram account so that you can save time and make more sales, you're in the right place. So I am home with my kids all day. They're basically turns 4 in just a couple days, a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old. I homeschool them. I don't have family around to watch them. We don't have childcare for reasons. Breaks are not a thing I get. So being as effective as I can in what little time I have is of the utmost importance to me, because I have my social media clients, my one-on-one services. I'm managing all these accounts, plus my business and my membership. It's a lot of work. I'm not going to pretend it's not. The only way that this all happens and I am still able to have a successful business is by using these kind of simplified strategies. So I am constantly testing things and finding new strategies that allow me to maximize the output of the strategy, whatever result it is I want from it, while minimizing the time and effort that I need on my end to get that result. I don't have time for anything else, honestly. So I'm going to go over my top 3 time-saving tips that you can use in your business as well and on your Instagram strategy so that you can have more time for other things, because I'm sure you have a million bajillion other things on your to-do list, without sacrificing sales, because no one wants that. But we all know how incredibly challenging it is to manage all the moving parts of your business, plus being a mom, especially if you're someone like me who unfortunately does not have childcare. There's not much time for other things. So I completely get it. I hate that super overwhelmed feeling. It gives me so much anxiety and stress, which just takes such a toll. I don't want that for you. So let's talk about how we can reduce it with these 3 actionable tips. The very first one is one I'm sure you've heard me say before, and you might have written it off, and I know it sounds hard and overwhelming, but it is so important. And it is to plan ahead for your content. I'm not saying you have to schedule and batch a whole month of content in one go, but even just having a plan saves you a ton of time and stress. And also, it allows you to be so much more intentional with your content so that it really strengthens your Instagram marketing strategy overall. So instead of, always feeling you are reacting to trends or scrambling to post something just to stay active, even just having a plan in place of an idea of what you want to post, you are strategically creating content that is aligned with your business goals. That is what that means. So you're making sure your content is actually supporting your business instead of just seeing random things that you want to try, seeing random reel trends and post ideas online that you want to try. You don't have to do that. Having a plan saves you time and helps your overall strategy to help your overall business goals. I have my social media clients. I do plan and schedule a whole month of content at once. Because I've been doing it for so long, it doesn't take me that long. And because I've been working with these clients for a while now, I'm going on 4 years, so I know their businesses, and it doesn't take me long to do. But if you haven't done it before, it definitely feels overwhelming, but it is one of those things where the more you do it, the easier it gets, the more time it saves, and the stronger your strategy gets. It is my absolute favorite thing to schedule an entire month of content, or even like a week, a couple days, whatever works for you, whatever you can manage. And then that's just done. That is off your plate. You can move on to the next thing. It's this huge stress and like relief off my shoulders, knowing that there's one less thing on my to-do list, especially when I'm able to do it for a good amount of time. But even just having the plan in place makes a world of difference for your strategy and for saving time and stress. And it gives you a ton of other brain space and actual hours of your day to focus on other areas of your business or doing things with your family, whatever it is that you need to do. Because what happens when you're not planning your content ahead of time, you're left scrambling for content ideas last minute, which leads to inconsistent posting, can lead to inconsistent messaging, which could potentially lead to confusion with your audience if you don't have consistent messaging. And that would be like worst case scenario. But even if you don't have that confusion, if you don't have that consistent messaging, you are not showing them that you are an authority. You're not building the trust that you need to actually get sales from your Instagram. These are things you have to have if you want to get sales from Instagram, and planning ahead of time gets you that while saving you time. This is the biggest, most important part of saving time and having like a cohesive strategy, not just random posts. And it's one of the things I actually just made a like step-by-step training that for Post with Purpose members for how to do it. And just because without it, it is much harder to track what's working and what's not. And it makes it a lot harder to improve your strategy over time. It just sets you up for long-term success on Instagram, because success on Instagram is much more than just a couple of random posts that hit it off. It's slowly building the trust, slowly building the connection, and making sure you plan your posts is what makes that happen faster. And again, while saving you time. So that was tip number 1. And tip number 1 is made a lot easier when you do tip number 2, which is regularly checking your insights. I know it's fun, it's boring, they can be hard to read. It seems like an excessive extra step, but it's actually like one of the absolute best ways to ensure that your content is actually resonating with your audience and driving the results you want. Because when you look at your insights, you have the data right there of what your audience wants, of what they react to, of what gets them commenting, of what gets them clicking, all of that stuff. So you can make sure that the time you are spending on creating content, on planning content, is actually helping your business by getting the data and using that to inform your strategy. Insights are just a huge gold mine of information, from what gets you the most reach, what reels get the most watch time, what kind of content gets the most saves that tells you it's super informative and valuable. Knowing what is going on with your insights allows you to make data-driven decisions about your Instagram marketing strategy and your content. So it means you're not guessing what your audience likes. You know, based on actual numbers and data, what types of content are most effective, what topics are most important to them. When you consistently check your insights, you can start to see patterns and trends over time in your own content performance. You'll notice which types of posts get the most engagement, which keywords are best for you and getting you more reach. Maybe if case studies get you more clicks to your website than like how-to posts, all these types of things you can get from your data. So you know exactly what to post and how to frame that post to get the results you want. When you don't check your insights, you're kind of just flying blind. Like you might be spending hours creating content you think will do well, but your audience just doesn't resonate with them. And unfortunately, that can turn into a huge time suck and just wasting a bunch of time that we know no mompreneur has to waste. So you need to check that feedback and make sure that you are using it to make sure that you have a data-informed strategy so that you can get the results you want faster than just posting and praying, basically. And that brings us to the third and final time-saving tip, which is scheduling and automating absolutely all that you can. So this is my favorite because you can set things up to just do the thing that you need them to do while you're off doing other things that you need to do. If you find that you are posting on the fly a lot, the first 2 tips take care of that, and then you can use this one to schedule your posts. If you have content planned and created and ready to go, schedule a whole bunch, as much as you can at a time. And you know that's just taken care of. It's done. You don't have to worry about it until next week or next month or 2 weeks, whatever. You can do it with content itself. You can also use automations like ManyChat. So if you are asking people to like comment a certain keyword to get like a freebie, for example, you can set up a ManyChat account and have that deliver it for you whenever you get a comment on your post with that keyword. So you don't have to sit checking your comments and sending messages. It seems like very small, but over time, it saves you a ton of time and energy. I personally use Metricool for scheduling my posts. I know there's a lot of other ones out there that people love, but Metricool is my absolute favorite. It is free for one account, just like with Meta Business Suite, but it is a lot less glitchy and you can get insights on it, like the ones I talked about from the tip number 2, that are a lot more comprehensive and a lot easier to read. So I really enjoy their analytics reports every month. Also, when you are scheduling posts, it integrates with Canva, so it saves you some time there from having to like save posts and then re-upload it. You can just go into Canva, hit the share button. There's a little Metricool. You just connect it and it sends your image, your graphics, your video, whatever, right over to Metricool so you can schedule it. And also when scheduling, it has a much better breakdown of the best time to schedule your posts. If you look in your Instagram insights, you can get an idea in like 3-hour chunks every day of when people are most active. If you go onto Metricool, you can see actual percentages, what percentage of your followers are active hour to hour. So I find it to be very, very helpful because when you are able to post when people are most active and they engage with your content, that is how Instagram knows to push it to more people. You'll get more reach, both from followers and non-followers, because not all followers will see every post. You can also, in Instagram itself, schedule content if you create the post and you go to advanced settings, there's an option there to create it. This is how I schedule any reels that do use trending audio, any audio in Instagram, honestly. Otherwise, there is no third-party scheduling tool that will allow you to use the Instagram audio for a scheduled reel, but you can do it in the Instagram app. But other than those reels that use Instagram audios, Metricool is the way to go. You can use it. You can upload your cover art and everything there as well. Very handy, 10 out of 10. So multiple ways that scheduling and automating these things saves you a ton of time while helping your strategy. When you have the plan from tip number 1 and you did it based on your insights from tip number 2, you can schedule and automate it with this tip number 3, and everything is done. It's kind of magical. Like it just puts it all on autopilot to make sure that you have a consistent posting schedule that is strengthening your messaging, that is building connection and trust and you are much closer to having this overall strategy that is actually supporting your business goals instead of spending a bunch of time creating posts on the fly and like always feeling like you're testing out new reel trends and things, trying to get likes and comments and hopefully a sale. When you're not scheduling and automating what you can, you're just likely spending way more time on Instagram than you need to. You might find yourself constantly checking to post at the right time or worrying about if you remembered to post something. You can do these tips and just know like it's taken care of. I love it. It's such a huge weight off of my shoulders and we don't want it to feel like this huge chore. So having these tips can just make it a little more easier for you while strengthening your strategy, while making more sales. All right, so quick recap. First tip was to plan your content ahead of time so you are always prepared and never scrambling for post ideas and chasing trends. Second, regularly check your Instagram insights to make sure that you're creating content that will actually resonate with your audience and maximize your impact. And third, schedule and automate all of those posts once you've done that with a tool like Metricool to save yourself a ton of time and stress. Remember, the key is to work smarter, not harder. I feel like that is my whole life mantra at this point, being a crazy busy mompreneur. So I have a feeling that it might be yours as well. Instagram does not have to be this huge time-consuming chore if you have the right strategies in place. Like I said, I am home with my 3 young kids who at times have very high support needs, being neurodivergent. And I am able to do all of the work that I do for my business, other people's businesses, and I work maybe 8 hours a week. So having the right strategies in place makes a world of difference for saving time without sacrificing sales. So now, if you want to save even more time on your Instagram marketing strategy and ensure that you're focusing on the right aspects of your strategy, I highly recommend that you go to the show notes and take my Find and Fix the Gaps in Your Instagram Strategy quiz so you can find the exact things that are holding you back from making sales in your business and you can focus on those exact strategies. So again, in the show notes, the Find and Fix the Gaps in Your Instagram Strategy free quiz so you can make sure you're not wasting time on strategies that you don't need to. Thank you so much for listening. If you were going to use any of these tips, I would love it if you would leave a rating and review so that another mompreneur can benefit and start saving more time on their Instagram while still making money. Thank you so much for listening to Mompreneur Mastery, Simple Instagram Strategy for Busy Moms. If you found this episode helpful, if you are nodding along at any point or wanted to take notes, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes, and also leave a rating and review so that more mompreneurs can benefit from this information. And don't forget to find and fix the gaps in your Instagram strategy so you can make more sales with the free quiz in the show notes. Thanks for listening, and I can't wait to be back in your earbuds next week. Hey mompreneur, did you know that the bulk of sales on Instagram happen in the DMs? It's true. That personal connection piece that I always talk about happens in those one-on-one conversations in DMs. That is why I made a training on how to strategize DMs so you can build that connection, nurture your followers, and sell to them in a non-cringy way. This strategy got me a 50% conversion rate on my last sale. Get access to the Cringeless DM strategy today for only $27 at the link in the show notes so you know exactly what to say and when to say it to get more sales on Instagram.